Welcome, everybody. My name is Ryan, and we are back with more Unreal World today. That's right. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to stream, so instead of the live VOD, you're going to get an edited episode today, and I'll probably do a couple of these, upload them while I wait for my new PC to arrive, and then hopefully once that gets here, we can get back to streaming live on Twitch. And of course, I always post my stuff here on YouTube, so make sure you follow me on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube. But let's get into it today. So our character is very far north. We're literally at the edge of the world here, the unreal world, so to speak. But it's a good place to be. We actually just got an elk kill. So if I look behind me, let me zoom in a little bit more as close as we can get. Yeah, there's actually a pile of meat just sitting here, but it won't be ready for another 23 days. So we don't have a lot left. I've got some tasty roasted cuts, and that's it. Literally one left. So we're going to have to get out there and do some more hunting, no doubt about it. But we've also got a little piece of fine winter elk fur left. We did a little bit of crafting in our last episode, and of course, we've got winter on the way, so we've got to get warm, we've got to get prepared. But I think that this little chunk here, it's not that little, 7 pounds, we'll trade that maybe for an axe, because currently all we have is the knife, in terms of actual good tools, so an axe will really make a difference. And of course, that means trading with some of the NPCs here. So if we zoom a little bit, we're going to make our way to the Gray tribe down here. But I think in order to maybe like explore some new territory and maybe come across an animal, instead of like going the way that we've come, we're just going to head straight south. And at this location, this is our first camp, there's actually some drying meat. If you look at the top of that window, it says trapping site visited 13 days ago. So I'm hoping by the time we get there, the meat there will be ready for us. I might be off by a couple of days, though, but we'll see. And like I said, maybe we'll encounter something interesting in this portion of the world, too. But once we've picked up the meat or failed to do so, we'll make a beeline over to this cultural area and just do some trading today. But I'm hoping that that culture has an axe. These northern cultures sometimes don't. I mean, they might have one or two spread throughout like a dozen villages, but I want to go somewhere where I can just pick one up immediately. I don't have to search constantly. Either way, not to worry. It is noon. We are vigorous, so let's step outside. Of course, we always have to play fully zoomed out, unless I'm like directly at my campsite, just doing some crafting or something. I always play fully zoomed out for maximum visibility here. Now, of course, with our new clothes, most of it is fur, including a nice overcoat. We are probably going to do some sleeping here on the overmap as we travel, but I've really got to watch my warmth here. So let's just kind of judge as we're going. Good reason to do this too is to kind of explore our local neighborhood. We're going to settle down in this general vicinity up here north by the coast, I think. Let's zoom in because I'm getting thirsty. We're lively and it's early evening, so we can definitely travel for a bit more. Here's a small little pond right here. So it is, of course, a little bit dangerous traveling in the middle of the night because visibility is so low you could run into anything out there in the woods. And I guess we'll eat our last piece of roasted meat. But I'm going to continue to push southward, even though visibility is great. There's a half moon still in the sky, and it hasn't set yet. We're getting into the thicker type of mountainous area here, and that's okay. It's not the best hunting ground. All right, let's take a look at the map, gauge where we're at. We're actually fairly close. Remember, our destination is this one with the camp 1 drying meat. So let's just flash forward to that location. Ooh, all right. Well, we made it. I did sleep a bit on the map, but it wasn't too bad. We stayed warm in the clothes we've got, but that's no guarantee that the current set of clothes will keep us warm, especially as it gets colder and colder. I mean, the ice hasn't even truly frozen over yet, so we've got a lot more serious weather ahead of us. But either way, we're here at camp number 1, just breaking the ice to get a little drink. There it is, the meat. Oh, is it ready? Oh, it says being prepared. We'll be ready by tomorrow. Well, that's actually amazing. Yeah. So we can probably just hop back out to the world map for a day and kind of explore. There's no rush. I don't need to leave and go trade right away. And if we bring this meat with us, we'll have even more stuff to trade. And obviously a full belly too. But look at this. That last little bit of the journey that I just made really wasn't that helpful in expanding the map there. I traveled at dark, so again, it's dangerous and you don't get a lot of visual when you travel at night. So always trying to kind of balance your travel day and night. It's tough though. It is tricky. Sometimes your character can just get thrown off in terms of their vigor levels. But all right, let's try and sleep until the light is full. There we go. That's better. And we're gonna zoom out, like I said, go to maximum viz. Let's head westward. I'm just noticing there's a lot of black territory over here, and eventually we will come to a coastline in this direction. There's no other cultures directly west of us, so let's see, maybe we can push forward and just come across anything. Also, being at this location or near this camp, if we come across a big animal, we'll take it down. So we did encounter a badger. This is definitely not a big animal, but we could take a toss at it. There he is right there. Badgers will get us maybe on the bigger side, maybe like 60 to 50 pounds of meat, if I recall correctly. Ooh, missed it. Not to worry. I'll just retrieve my javelin, and yeah, we'll just move on from it. It's good maybe, when you do encounter an animal in the woods, don't necessarily just zoom past it like I do so much, but try and give it a hit with your arrow or give it a throw, because at least you'll improve your skill, albeit very marginally, but just don't go chasing it forever and ever. Okay, either way, let's see. Yeah, we're pushing into what looks to be an interesting little hunting ground. Nice and open territory here. I always like to see these big flat marshy areas. It is afternoon. Let's keep pushing on. Maybe if we we got another mountain here. Climb that, we'll get a great amount of visibility. Okay. Let's cut back east now. I think we've gone far enough south. There's a squirrel. Not interested in the squirrel. It will literally give us just one piece of meat, so squirrels aren't that bountiful. I would end up most likely just sacrificing it to the gods, but let's see if we can sleep. No, too much snow. It might not be a bad idea to try and trek back north to the shelter. That way we will get a nice full night's rest there. Ooh, well, that was not a pleasant night, I'll tell you. We got back here safe and sound, still warm enough, but not having food is definitely hurting. It makes it tough to sleep. But we forced him to sleep several times, and he is starving. It's starting to affect his physical condition, so let's check on this meat here. Oh, actually it says by afternoon and the night and midnight. Wow, it's really cutting it to the latest possible time frame, isn't it? Well, that's okay. We're not going to starve in that period of time. We'll just have to try and find something to do, which, of course, is to go out there and hunt. Actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea maybe to get some cordage. Go pick some of those small saplings, make some of the primitive stuff for more drying, because of course if I do get a kill I'll have to dry the meat, but maybe we'll do that towards the end of the night before I head to bed. This time we can utilize as much of the sunlight as we have. Alright, just popping on top of some of these mountains, always trying to get the best visibility. Let's look around us. Interested in this area. We just checked that area yesterday, so let's kind of backtrack down. See, oh, there's a trader. Yeah, the guy with the blue cloaked individuals on the map, always peaceful foreign traders, but the caveat with those guys is that they only deal in furs. Yeah, you can't trade them anything else. They're not interested. But if you do get a nice stack of furs and your intention is to trade with them, you can come across some really good loot. Oftentimes, I've never actually tried to attack a foreign trader either. They're usually, they come in groups of six or seven strong typically, but could be interesting maybe in some future episode or playthrough when we're doing more like an evil type of run. But all right, see, I've lost so much time just chatting that we're too far from the original shelter. We're gonna have to spend the night here, and then the morning we'll return for that meet. But see how quickly the days fly by in this winter period? It's true, man. The lack of sunlight just makes it all feel like one big nighttime. Oh boy, another early morning, and it is pitch black out here. The sun is still lazing about on the other side of the planet. So let's whip together some cordage. I actually did go out into the forest and pick a bunch of these trees, 26 of them. Didn't make you suffer through that, though. It's kind of boring, just me walking around digging up little baby trees. So we'll just do the max, I guess. That's good for now. Yep. Just trying to, of course, pass some time till the sun comes up. We can sleep again, so let's do that. Try and maintain a good vigor. All right, the sun is coming up a little bit, but we still have very poor visibility. And we still have 6 more saplings. There we go. Let's check that out in our inventory. Oh yeah, 51 plus another inferior 4th piece section. That is definitely going to be enough to dry an entire elk if we get lucky enough to find one. So I'm actually carrying quite a bit of weight. If I were to encounter an elk, we would probably want to drop most of this on the world map, leave ourselves a note, and then come back for it. Especially this cordage and the fur. But I am actually going to carry it with me for now. It will be no use to us for me to make all that cordage and leave it at a particular camp for us to travel 3 or 4 camps over and then get a kill. See what I mean? So let's return to the food. It better be ready. It should be, right? It said midnight at the latest. All right, let's get a quick drink. Yes, good. And, all right, what do we got? Oh, there it is, look at that. And we get even more cordage back now, too, so we'll be loaded. All right, we'll pick all of it up. There we go. Oh my gosh, now I'm really carrying some weight, but we finally get to have a bite to eat after, I don't know, about 3 or 4 days worth of no food. Let's start with the small stack. The bland cuts. That's okay. It's good enough to fill the belly. Woo. All right. I think now we can safely head out. We do have a tiny little piece of winter elk fur here in the ground. And if I'm carrying some cordage, I might as well carry all the cordage. So we'll grab that stuff. The bones are kind of useless to us currently until we get a dog maybe or 2. But what? Why is it not letting me zoom out? Oh, I'm hauling. No, stop hauling, please. There we go. All right. And like I said, we're just pretty much going to shoot, straight east into the grays. Recover from starvation. Well, that's good news, finally. And we have returned once again to the territory of the Khoika tribe. Probably mispronouncing that, but we're here, one of the villages we visited previously, so it's very early in the morning. They won't love it that I'm here this early waking everybody up, but I like to kind of start to greet people so they'll know my name, and eventually maybe we'll start to get quests from these folks. Not much reason to talk to the kids, but let's see. Yeah, and I'm interested, too, in a bit of information. Let's talk to that guy again. So this is something I forgot about, but chatter during one of the recent live streams reminded me that we should ask this guy about blacksmiths. Yeah, down here at the bottom, we can ask about, different things if they're interested in joining us, which eventually we will start to hire some people, but the blacksmith, not here, but you can find a master in a village in the southeast from here, about 4 miles. It's in our lands. Okay, it's called Oblivion Wood. Super, super helpful. Let's just ask about a sage. No, okay, so yeah, they won't actually like mark it on the map, but it's a good bet that it's this one here. Because that fits the description southwest. I would say that's roughly about 4 miles. There is a scale on one of the maps somewhere, but either way, not to worry. So I'm not going to leave without checking the tents, though. I want to obviously pick up an axe while we're here. Oh boy, maybe some skis too. I wonder. Oh, a short bow, a fine short bow, no less. Oh, look at this. I came for an axe, but now I'm seeing all kinds of stuff. Yeah, if we can get some skis, a ski pole, that would help our traveling just so much. You know, we don't have to worry about like our endurance as much when we're out walking on the snow. And we can get a better speed going too. Let's see here. I assume if they have the ski poles, they should have the skis too. Just like if they have arrows, they almost always have a bow as well. I actually don't see the skis unless I passed over them. Boy, oh boy. See, that's the problem is I don't want to trade for something and then end up, getting rid of all my valuables because then I can't get the axe. But, well, we've made it this far without the axe. And I'll tell you what, having a bow and arrow right now would be really nice. Not that I don't love a good persistence hunt, but I mean, just for the sake of self-defense, too, you really do want some sort of ranged ability. All right, here we go. Ooh, a masterwork short bow. And this tribe's actually pretty well off. I wouldn't be surprised to find a axe here. No. Well, we should definitely mark this one. Let's see, reindeer furs. I'm going to kind of hang out here for a little bit. It's hard to see. Sometimes when you're in these villages, it can be beneficial to zoom in. God, look how many of these people there are. This is an insanely populated tribe here. That's crazy. Wow, they have a northern bow? That's literally, I mean, the northern bow is the best bow in the game. The only way you could get this better is if it had like the perfect modifier on it. But wow, yeah, we're definitely marking these folks. So these have more things than I can even see. There's a masterwork northern bow right there, just laying on the ground. Oh, what else do they have here? Fine fisher's knife. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll go down and check for that blacksmith. We'll put an order for an axe in with him, and then that will allow me to potentially trade for this stuff they've got here. Let's grab the bow and arrows. I want to get crazy and just see if I can. Oh, not the kid. I don't want to trade with the kid. I want to trade with this gentleman. Let's greet him. It's my belief that it's always good before bartering to introduce yourself and ask them how they're doing. And now we'll go to trading. All right. Yeah. Somehow I doubt we're going to have enough to afford this. All right, I'll throw my crude javelin in. But definitely that. It might be the case that fine winter elk fur is the only thing he's willing to trade me, but let's just see. I'm going to get crazy, and I'm going to put all 24 delicious elk cuts. Crude javelin is not quality I expect, however, the rest of your offer is accepted. Needs to be doubled to get those goods for yourself. And this is really hard to pass up. I'm thinking... let's do 50 cuts. It's getting promising. I don't want to trade him all my food, obviously, but... ooh, pleasantly close. Dang, this guy's a hard bargainer. Let's do 6 more cuts. You don't want to... You want to kind of get these trades done efficiently, too, because they'll start to get annoyed if you have to continue to add a little bit. If you're trying to min-max them, they tend to get, like, kind of annoyed. All right, so let's do 10 more. And I immediately try and min-max the guy. Oh, just a few more things away. 10 more? This is going to be a lot of our food, people. Oh, not quite. You know what? Let's give back a couple arrows. Just a few more things away. There it is. Alright, so I gave back 2 arrows. Four, I think, total. All right, let's do it. Oh boy, that's a big trade, but honestly, we've got more meat already literally being prepared, and we're going to get more animals for sure, especially with this masterwork northern bow. We'll get an arrow knocked, so we are ready. We're ready for some serious hunting here, people. Wow, that was a good trade. Like I say, despite the fact that I came for an axe, I think we still left here with a really good... Yeah, we can drop this javelin. Now it's just dead weight to me, because we don't need it. I'll probably put it in a fire and burn it. But, well, do we have any more reason to stick around? Or I think what we should do is return to this area now, because it really is the best, like, flattest hunting ground I've found. And, of course, that's where our current stash of meat is, too. So let's get back to the camp, hunker down, and we're definitely going to have to accumulate a lot more trade goods, because this tribe's a bit richer than I thought. Did not quite make it back in 1 day's worth of travel. You can see we're just on the cusp of our new homeland up here. I can't believe none of the other cultures in this world have claimed this most northerly position, but it is going to be our home. Unfortunately, we can't really recruit other NPCs to join us permanently. We can get helpers and hire them, but I don't know, maybe it's possible if you treat them well enough. Maybe that's my problem, is I just don't treat my hired help well enough. That could entirely be possible, because I am known to abuse the NPCs in this game. But, we've also seen heights of glory with the NPCs armies that I've recruited in the past by completely wiping out the Nurpezit, the hostile territories. That was a fun series for sure. But, alright, I think I'm going to risk it and try to push him a little bit. Boom, till we get to this one. All right, we made it just as we were extremely tired. That's good. It's just easier to sleep, obviously, when you've got a shelter. Not to mention, it was currently snowing, so we wouldn't have been able to sleep. But let's have a little breakfast. One thing I've mentioned before, sometimes I forget. If I go a long period without food and my character's been starving for a week, then I finally get food. Sometimes I forget to feed them regularly to recover, because you just get into that no food play style, I should say. And yeah, so make sure to feed your character once you get that food. And let's break open the whole little bit of water. Nobody wants to go out on the hiking trail after waking up with a dry mouth. And we're looking good. Down to 32 pieces of meat, though. Gosh. Well, that masterwork northern bow was certainly worth it. Alright, let's see if we can open up a bit of territory. So dark, though. But this is it. We're basically home free at this point. There's a nice little cave right here. We won't go into it now. I'd like to utilize as much daylight as we have. Search on the world map for another kill, but actually let's return to camp, because I should drop that cordage and stuff. Yeah, we're close enough. I just need... This is going to be we'll probably build our cabin in this general area. I don't know exactly where, but that's another thing we should start to do when we're up here hunting around, is start to look for a permanent base location. Let's see, where am I? Okay, we're good. Ah, there we go. Maybe right on the coast, a mountainside villa on the shoreline. That could be really nice. Have all kinds of seal traps and stuff set up. But here we are. Let's check on the meat. I know it's not ready, but 17 days, not a problem. So, like I said, we're going to drop off that. I'm going to slim down absolutely as much as I can. No torch, none of this. And, no, we'll keep the food on us. There we go. Yeah, we're down to 54 pounds. If I rest, boom, negative 8%. And the starvation, that's going to get cured too as we eat. Hopefully we can get another kill before we hit starvation, but it's early afternoon. We've got a couple hours. One thing we should also consider is setting up maybe another couple of shelters. Just boom, boom. Not necessarily for avoiding the cold, because at this point we're doing pretty good with our clothes. But if I get a kill down here, it'll just be easier to process the meat than dragging it, you know. But either way, we'll think about that maybe tomorrow. Let's head out and see if we get lucky and spot an elk before the sun goes down. I don't think we will, but I tell you what, this is some really nice country for hunting, so I'm happy about this area. Let's utilize, there's always little mountains on the coasts, kind of dotting, so it's a great way to just open up the map. All right, well, we are losing visibility. We're kind of on the edge of the hunting ground. Maybe this is a good time to zoom in and potentially make a base camp here. So, of course, there's no spruce trees around. When we zoom in, it's all pine. There's one. All right, spruce limbs are, of course, mandatory for making a shelter. Usually get a couple bundles of them. I'll grab those. And where's some water? Okay, I see some down here. Let's just get this sapling. We'll cut this down because we need 3 of the slender trunks. Beautiful. And I always try and locate my shelters near a body of water. Doesn't have to be right next to it, but within just a couple of tiles really does help. So let's go ahead and build it. See if we can get this done before we pass out. Ooh, we are extremely tired. Oh, no, we're ready to drop. Let's break open the ice and have a quick drink. We'll go to bed and we'll just, start again in the morning. Yes, drink from the natural source, please. All right, and eat. There we go. We'll sleep in the shadow of our unfinished shelter. How about that? Oh, we did wake up cold. Interesting. Well, a little bit of hard work should warm them up, right? There's birds all over the place here. That's interesting. Okay, push that in there. Actually, let's warm up. Yeah, hold on. Let's push that back out of there. I'll drop the 11 spruce, and we just start a quick fire. Maybe we'll have our breakfast here by the campfire, warm us up a bit, and we'll be ready to head back out on the trail. Another day hiking, another fruitless hunt, but we don't give up if we come home empty-handed, do we? No. We hunker down and build another camp. So we've got one here. Now, well, we're going to put one here. That's the main one. And, of course, there's the one we built last night. So we got a nice little triumvirate going. And, of course, if we count this one, well, we won't count that one. That one's kind of far. It's more buried in the mountains. But I did have to build a fire, getting a little bit cold. Let's eat. We're down to 24 pieces of meat, and we'll probably have to pause this at some point because we are extremely tired. Yeah, let's just go to bed here next to the fire. Luckily, there's no active snowstorm. Boom, look at that. Slept straight through the night. It's so nice once you have food, I'll tell you that. All right, little breakfast. Good. Excellent. And let's continue. Skills, B for building, and if we had P, we could just continue our paused operation. There we go. That actually took most of the day. The light is literally dying now again, but it's just how the deep winter is. And, whoops, I just pushed that in the wrong direction. But I did get cold, like I said, when I was out traveling, so that's a sign that, this temperature bar is going to dip real low. Let's see, day 6 of the 6th week before midwinter point. Like I say, we're getting closer every day. So let's still jump out. I mean, it's a little bit of light, so we might as well take advantage of it. Wait, hold on. Let me put the mark on the map. There we go. All right. And now we can kind of just travel around, see how much bigger the borders of our hunting ground are. Boy, this place is going to be an absolute gold mine once the snow starts to thaw and we get into the warmer seasons of this world. Oh yeah, we got a huge hunting ground. Oh, we're going to be swimming in all kinds of furs. So now I've got myself lost down here wandering in the mountains again. I really need to take the time and make some sort of water skin. Having to zoom in every time I want to get a drink is pretty annoying, but let's see, how close are we to our shelter. Not too far. I'll just pop back up here for the night. And there we go. Remember, we're just killing time, essentially, until our next batch of food is ready. At this point, I'm just hunting and hoping to maybe stumble across a really nice base location. So, give me a couple of days, and if I find either a nice hunt or somewhere to build, I will bring you guys right back to show you. So, taking a look at the map, I did scout out a couple of potential base locations. These are notable because they're on the coast, next to a mountain, and the water is thawed by them. So, obviously, there's a pretty good coating of ice around the coast, but these two sites do have access to fresh water year round, just because of the way the ice is formed. And I know that that's going to persist year after year. That's just one of the facts. The ice always forms in the exact same spots. But I've found something even more exciting. There is an elk just to the south of us there. Yep, right there on the edge of the forest. We don't have skis, so my fatigue is at 10%. It's always a good bet to rest when you're on the world map like that, before you go and encounter the animal on the local terrain map. So, now we're in a good place, we're rested. Okay, let's see, can I go into hiding? No, but I'm still going to take a shot with our brand new bow. I'll just go for the body. Ooh, over the top. I think I can, go into stealth now. Take a shot, good. So we hit it that time. Suffering from a minor puncture in the right shoulder. Alright, so I'm going to move. I'm actually going to run just a tad bit. That's it. Because I want to grab my arrows as we go. And real quick, I'm also going to wield an arrow, get it knocked and ready, so that when we encounter the animal again, I'll be able to shoot it. But, alright, we are just following its tracks. There it is, until we reacquire it. I always look at the animal each time I spot it again, just to monitor its situation. And what we want to do, I really don't want to fill it full of holes here. In other words, shoot it a bunch, potentially losing arrows and damaging its fur. Okay, good. So it is running. This will be more of a persistence hunt, but, if I can get a good shot on him as soon as we start. Ooh, this is bad news. Yeah, I always take a shot initially. Look at that, it's going right for the tree line there. Oh boy. We might get lucky and it might not. Let's go into stealth. Okay, it did duck right into the trees. Sometimes they're not very bright and they'll just pop right back out. This one's turning further. Okay, I see its tracks to the north. Boy, it's teasing me, isn't it? It's just playing around right here at the edge of these trees. Could it have gotten back out? I don't see any footprints. Let me look at this map. Yeah, there's four. This is a pretty thick forest here to the north. Darn it. Well, let's not give up just yet. Where do the tracks actually go? I see this one here. This is leading northeast, so yeah, he does go deeper. Here's more tracks here. Deeper and deeper he goes. And I did enough kind of turning around, looking around and stuff, that he's probably a good distance ahead of me now. This is why... Oh, interesting. We've come to more open field. Oh, I'm glad I followed. Hold your horses. We might be able to re-encounter him. Oh, there he is. He's still fatigued. He's still punctured. Obviously. All right. Well, this is not a great area. I think we're actually literally just in the middle of a little clearing in the woods, but obviously we're not going to give up, so let's pursue him. Maybe I can put myself, but nope, see? Yeah, just a little clearing right here in the woods. Let's see. Well, we didn't give up earlier and it paid off. Maybe we can reacquire him. Let me follow these tracks a bit more. Oh boy, I don't know. He's just going further and further in. Let's see, should be northwest. Let's look at this ray. I guess if I followed him long enough, we could force him to the coast, which isn't a bad strategy, but at the same time, it might take me all day. Boy, he's just playing around right here on the edge of these trees. Shoot. Well, we didn't lose an arrow, so I'm going to zoom out. Maybe we can encounter him again. There is an interesting little opening, like an open clearing, kind of in the middle of these trees. Sometimes if you move around a bit on the map and then zoom in nearby, you can reacquire the animal. Now granted, he will have rested, but he'll still be wounded. Slightly. Although I'm not seeing any tracks. So if you don't get him right away, jump back out, move around a bit. Maybe... I don't like being in the forest. Maybe it did turn around. Let's go ahead and grab a drink here. Have a little lunch. That way, if we do reacquire the animal, at least we'll be in a better position. We won't be fatigued and stuff. So we'll rest up. And I think, honestly, we might just abandon this animal. Would be better maybe to try and find another one, sadly. It's just how it goes. Man, it's hard to give up that big bull elks too, but shoot. Well, we saw one. That means there's definitely going to be more. We just have to make it to the nearest shelter because I'm actually getting cool. Yeah. Wow. Ugh. It's unfortunate. We got the hit with the arrow. Had everything we needed except the runway. That's why I picked these spots with so much open area, just for that reason. But it's been a lot of running around today, and we did accomplish some things. I mean, getting this Masterwork Northern Bow is really going to change the game. And despite our failed hunt just now, I think we're going to see a lot more success in the future. So I hope you'll continue to tune in for the episodes. Like I said, there'll probably be a couple more at least, and then we'll get right back into the live streaming. So make sure you check the description of the video, follow me on Twitch, subscribe, hit the like button, everybody, and I'll see you on the next one.